You know, there's never an easy way to start a video like this, so I'm just gonna come right out with it. I suck at video making. Okay, maybe I'm being a little too hard on myself, but truth be told, I have made a number of mistakes in my videos. So much so I can make a top 10 list on them. Now for those who don't know, I am a busy person. I work 30 hours a week and I take 5 classes a semester at college. As a result, I don't dedicate a lot of time to the scripts of my videos. And while I have been trying to cut back on that, it's still very easy for me to overlook some of my mistakes. Now, I'm not going to include mistakes I've already owned up to, such as my mistake here where I put the wrong episode name in my top 10 best Family Guy songs list, since I addressed it in the comments. And I think the best way to do this is to jump right into it. This is the top 10 biggest Gem Reviews mess-ups.
This man is a complete fucking retard! How has anyone taken this idiot seriously?
Typos. Now, I wasn't going to include typos because I personally just think that's nitpicking. But something I saw recently made me see how annoying typos can actually be. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I live in New Mexico, and we have a news site called KOAT, and I followed them on Facebook. Well, KOAT posted a story about a teenager saving a mother and her young son from being hit by a train. That's pretty damn awesome, right? Like, this dude is a hero and should be given celebrity treatment in my opinion. Only thing is, when KOAT reported it, this is what their report said. Teen credited with saving the life of a woman and your young son. Wait, what? My young son? Someone saved Jem Jr.? Jem Jr., you little bastard! I told you to stay away from those train tracks! What the hell is this, KOAT? Are you telling me my son was in danger? Are you accusing me of not being able to watch my own son? Are you saying I'm a bad parent? Hey, where'd Jem Jr. go? Well, anyway. You see how a typo like that can be distracting? And you know what's kind of impressive? They also managed to use the right your. So that kind of typo is even more hilarious. Hell, what do you think the comments were saying? Yep, says it all right there. A teenage boy saves 2 people and a news site goofs on 1 word and the comments can't leave it alone. Anyway, I know that wasn't one of my personal mess-ups, but seeing as I typo at least once every other video, and seeing as typos can really jack up something that could be kinda good, it's safe to say that I should be proofreading my videos a little bit more from now on.
This man is a complete fucking retard! How has anyone taken this idiot seriously?
Seth MacFarlane isn't fully responsible for Quagmire's dad. In my collaboration review with Shazoozle, while he and I don't straight up say Seth MacFarlane wrote this episode, we certainly imply a lot that everything wrong with this episode was the fault of MacFarlane.
This shows that MacFarlane really doesn't have an understanding about the difference between the gays and transgenders.
If you're going to talk about a subject that you are saying you sympathetically are portraying, at least do a little research on it. At least make it clear to the people who are watching who wouldn't know the difference, what the difference actually is. Now, while MacFarlane made some stupid comments about this episode, he was not the one who wrote it, and there's a good chance that some of the things wrong with it weren't entirely his fault, and therefore, he shouldn't have gotten as much blame as the 2 of us gave him. So, regardless, that is something we should have cut back on and avoided doing. Hell, we both gave off the impression that we don't even like Seth MacFarlane because we bashed him so much. But truthfully, both of us are big fans of MacFarlane and we both have a lot of respect for him. But that review certainly doesn't show it. Sorry about that, Seth.
This man is a complete fucking retard! How has anyone taken this idiot seriously?
That wasn't a scam in Fleabit Ned. This is a very minor mess-up, but a mess-up nonetheless. In my top 10 Ed, Neddy episodes list, I said the ads were running a pet cleaning scam in Fleabit Ned. But actually, that's not a scam. The ads are delivering exactly what they're promising, so that actually makes this a service. And I know that mess-up's not major in any way, but the reason I put it on this list is because in my Your Ed Here review, I said that the wax figure thing the Eds were doing wasn't technically a scam because they were delivering exactly what they promised. So since I actually know what the difference is between a scam and a service, and I managed to get it right in a later video, that makes this statement here a mess up. That and my horrible audio in the video can qualify as that too.
I guess the best way to sum it up is, it almost makes Adventure Time look sober. And that is fucking awesome.
That's terrible.
This man is a complete fucking retard. How has anyone taken this idiot seriously?
The douche and turd comparison. In my top 10 best South Park songs list, I made a joke about South Park perfectly predicting the 2016 presidential runnings of Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton with their douche and turd segment in the episode, well, douche and turd. But I ended up apparently getting the joke backwards by making Clinton the douche and Trump the turd, because in a newer episode that I clearly didn't see that aired only a short time before I uploaded this video, South Park called Clinton the turd and Trump the douche.
My opponent is a liar and he cannot be trusted. No!
Oh my god, she is such a turd sandwich.
Honestly, I thought the other way made more sense because a douche just seems to suit Clinton more, and Trump just looks like a turd. Come on, look at these two. They can be twins. But at the same time, I guess that's why South Park didn't go that way. It was just too easy of a comparison to make, and South Park never takes that route. Regardless though, this was a mess up.
This man is a complete fucking retard. How has anyone taken this idiot seriously?
Lois isn't technically a pedophile. In the second part of my top 10 worst Family Guy episodes list, as well as in my Quagmire's Dad review, I call Lois a pedophile for trying to jump the bones of her daughter's teenage boyfriend. Technically, that's not a pedophile. In fact, much to my surprise, this isn't even illegal in the state of Rhode Island. The age of consent there is 16, and that's roughly the age Meg's boyfriend was. So, not only is Lois not a pedophile, she's not even legally a sex offender for doing this. Though, she is a disgusting human being, and she clearly has some mental problems. And she's certainly incapable of owning up to her own mistakes and finds it easier to just blame her husband for her adulterous actions. But alas, she's not a pedophile. Don't worry though, Lois, I still have like 50 other names to call you.
Rape?
This man is a complete fucking retard. How has anyone taken this idiot seriously?
Not fully explaining my views of Best Day Ever. So I got a lot of backlash for not just one, but two songs I didn't include on my top 10 best SpongeBob songs list. One was Don't Be a Jerk, It's Christmas, which I addressed and apologized for in my SpongeBob Christmas Specials video. And the other was Best Day Ever. Truth be told, I'm very surprised how many people like this song. Now while I admit it's catchy, I think my biggest issue with this song is that it was overplayed. Keep in mind, this was a 15-minute long episode, and this one song took up half that time. And I think because of that, the catchiness just turned into an annoyance for me. I guess it's kind of like chocolate. Some people really like rich chocolate, like the richer it is, the better it is. But some people don't like chocolate that's too rich because it ends up becoming inedible for them. That's how I would describe the catchiness of this song. I can see why people like a song that's so ungodly catchy, but for others, something being so ungodly catchy ends up turning into annoying when it's heard too much. But I really should have taken into account how many people enjoy this song and explained why I was excluding it a little better. And for those of you who do like this song, I don't judge you or anything for that, and I wasn't trying to offend you guys by saying I personally don't like it. And I hope you accept this explanation and apology and we can all be friends again.
This man is a complete fucking retard. How has anyone taken this idiot seriously?
My argument for procrastination. Now in my review of The Card, I spent the whole video showing that The Card wasn't the first time that Patrick had shown he was aware of his stupidity or hinted that he was pretending to be stupid. The very first thing I argued was this line from Procrastination.
SpongeBob, You and I both know that you're just using me as a distraction so you don't have to write your...
Now, a lot of people said that this was only part of SpongeBob's dream, and that this conversation never actually happened. Now, in all honesty, while that is a possibility, the reason I never saw it like that is because it's never clear when SpongeBob fell asleep. Now, we all know that everything that happened before SpongeBob wrote "the" on his paper actually happened, since "the" was already written when SpongeBob woke up. And we know sometime after writing that, he fell asleep. See, as for me, I always thought SpongeBob fell asleep when he started choking on that eraser shaving, because that's the only time we see him actually lay down. And another reason I think this conversation actually happened is because SpongeBob wasn't shocked when Patrick brought up his essay and didn't question how Patrick knew about it.
That is not true. I called to have an engaging conversation with you.
Well, I'm listening.
And things really started getting crazy after SpongeBob choked, because that's when the Mailfish and the news reporters started bringing up the essay. But clearly, that's something I should have explained better, and since this was my opening argument, I really should have been careful with this one. So regardless, it's definitely a mess up. Though stuff like this is why I love pre-movie SpongeBob. It gave us episodes about the tiniest of topics that we can all have legitimate debates on.
Marco!
Polo.
This man is a complete fucking retard! How has anyone taken this idiot seriously?
Putting margarine on my top 5 worst South Park episodes list. Now, while I have no issues apologizing for what I leave off of my list, especially if I don't do a good enough job explaining why I did that, I never usually apologize for what I put on my list. I will never apologize for putting I'm What's Stupid on my top 10 worst SpongeBob episodes list, and I'll never apologize for putting Play It Again Brian on my top 10 worst Family Guy episodes list, even though I'm aware a lot of people like those episodes. I apologize for putting Margarine on my list, however, because it's not really that bad of an episode. This wasn't even my first choice to put on this list. I originally was going to put something like Butt Out or Brittany's New Look on this list. But I decided against those because I didn't really know what to say about Butt Out, and my arguments against Brittany's New Look were too similar to my arguments with Stanley's Cup. So I picked this one because I thought it would be pretty humorous to make an over-the-top reaction about how overstuffed the episode felt, and how there were so many good ideas that started, but never seemed to actually finish. But in all honesty, those aren't good arguments to put an episode like this on a worse list. And the humor I tried to put into this to rip the episode apart did not seem to land at all for the people who saw this. I think it's safe to say that South Park is not a show you can fuck around with if you're not offering legitimate reasons to why you're putting an episode on a worst list. And honestly, one thing I always try to do with my list was throw a curveball. You know, throw in something not many people would expect, but still see where I was coming from. I did this with my other cynical top 5 videos as well, with Benless Love and New Student Starfish. But with those, what I feel at least made those somewhat work was I wasn't too hard on them, and the flaws I pointed out are flaws that even those who like the episodes can see. But with Margarine, I didn't do that. Like, at all. It was really just a new attempt at a different form of comedy, and it failed miserably. If I were to sum up this attempted curveball, I'd sum it up like this. Yep, not even close to the mark. Safe to say this is one mistake I will never make again, especially when discussing South Park.
This man is a complete fucking retard! How has anyone taken this idiot seriously?
See Me, Feel Me, Know Me review. Okay, I know there's a few of you who really like this review, and I'm glad you do. In all honesty, even I was a bit shocked at how well this video did. This was my first solo review to eclipse the 1,000 view mark, and was, for a time, my most watched solo review. But honestly, for me, this is one review I wish I could just redo. How I think any reviewer has one review that they feel they could have done so much more with if they spent a little more time on it. See, when I made this, it was a spur-of-the-moment review I made after the first part of my top 10 worst Family Guy episodes list got taken down. Also at the time, one strike meant you couldn't upload videos longer than 15 minutes, so I ended up cutting a lot of material out to make sure the video didn't get over that mark. And as a result, this video ended up being very choppy and not nearly as entertaining as it could have been. Also, when I made this, I didn't want to talk about anything that had already been associated with this episode in order to keep the video a little shorter. For example, everyone knows that this episode was banned in America because of its strobe lights, and that the episode kinda centers around communism, so I avoided talking about those and tried to offer new views on it instead. And as a result, I think I just left more people confused than I did entertained, and that's never a good feeling for me. I'm here to entertain you guys and maybe even get you thinking a bit. But this is one video I wish I just spent a little more time on and made it however long I wanted before my strike was released, because I really feel this video is flooded with so much untapped potential. Again, if you do like this video, that's great, and I'm really glad you do. But this is just how I personally feel about it.
We made a deal, did our part, and it was for peace. He broke the deal, failed his part, now we'll fight for peace.
This man is a complete fucking retard. How has anyone taken this idiot seriously?
My thank you to Wesley Wild. Yeah, if you ever wanted to know why I was such a cynical bastard when I first started making videos, it's because I couldn't even thank people correctly. In my top 10 best Family Guy episodes list, I made this statement about Wesley Wild, who wrote Road to the Multiverse.
The person who wrote this episode, Wesley Wild, God, I really hope I pronounced that right, also wrote PTV and Petarded. So I think it's safe to say that he knows how to make a smart episode.
Well, first of all, I corrected one mistake by bringing up Alex Sulkin. But then I made an even bigger mistake with the second line, saying neither of their episodes appeared on my worst list. Not only did one of Wesley Wild's episodes appear on my worst list, it was number 1 on my worst list, Seahorse Seashell Party. I cannot believe I managed to do that. Oh, and you want to know what's even worse? Here's another clip from that same video. It's right there! It's right there! And I still missed it! Yeah, let's call it what it was. A catastrophic mistake that shouldn't have been made. As far as my knowledge goes, that was the only episode I managed to get wrong. But, seeing as it was number 1 on my list, and it was right there in the goddamn video, it's safe to call this my biggest mess up. Well, plus side, 20th Century Fox decided to have a striking fit and took down my video, so at least that mess up died with it. At least until the strike gets lifted. Thanks for that, Fox. See, now I can thank people correctly.
Thank you, Mr. Wild.
Alright, well, that was my list of my top 10 biggest mess ups. It's a new year and I want to shed the skin of my mistake-prone 2016 self. I promise to learn from these mistakes and to become a better reviewer as a result. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next review.